Hello, sweetheart. Oh, you're still awake? Okay then. Well, we'll have to read you a bedtime story, won't we? Yes, that'll get you to sleep. Okay, sweetheart. Now, tonight's story is called The Little White Star Inside the Roman Candle Firework. Okay, here we go. In Greenway Village, there was a little corner shop, and behind the glass counter stood shopkeeper Sherburn. Tonight was Guy Fawkes Night, and shopkeeper Sherburn had put on a display of fireworks for sale under the glass counter for all the customers to see. Now, on display to the customers, there were rockets, helicopters, volcanoes, fountains, pinwheels and sparklers. And at the front of the display, between the pinwheels and the sparklers, there was a long, multicoloured Roman candle firework. Now, inside this Roman candle firework, there lived a little white star. There was very little room inside the Roman candle firework, and, well, as you can imagine, the little white star was not very comfortable. Oh, I hope somebody comes into the shop to buy me Roman candle firework for Guy Fawkes Night, said the little white star, so that I can be set off and released. I want to be shot into the sky to join all the other stars. I do. It's not much fun in here with all this horrible dark gunpowder around me. I don't feel like staying in here until next year. Well, who would? But so far, nobody had bought the little white star's Roman candle firework from the little corner shop, and time was running out, for the shop closed in 15 minutes. I'll make a hole in me Roman candle firework, said the little white star, and then I will peep out and see who comes into the shop. That's what I'll do. And so the little white star made a tiny hole in the wall of his Roman candle firework with one of his points. He then put one of his eyes to the hole and peeped out. For the very first time, the little white star could see shopkeeper Sherburn, and for the very first time, the little white star could see the shelves behind the counter. The shelves were full of things to buy, things such as sweets and tins of food and comics and magazines, and for the very first time, the little white star could see all the other fireworks that were for sale under the glass counter. Through the tiny hole in the Roman candle firework, the little white star could also see the shop door. The door was closed. Above the door there was a large clock. The time was 4:45. Oh no, cried the little white star. It's 4:45, and the shop closes at 5 o'clock. That means the shop closes in 15 minutes. Nobody's bought me Roman candle firework yet, and time was running out. If nobody buys me Roman candle firework, cried the little white star, I'll have to stay amongst all this horrible dark gunpowder for a whole year. Oh, somebody please come and buy me Roman candle firework, so that I can be set off and released to join the other stars in the sky. My firework is not a very expensive one, only costs 35 pence. Pinwheels are 40 pence, and rockets cost 60p. So, at only 35p, I'm a bargain. And peeping through the hole, the little white star saw a little ginger-haired girl enter the shop. The little ginger-haired girl approached the counter, and as the little white star peeped out of the hole, he saw the little ginger-haired girl looking over the counter at shopkeeper Sherbin. "Hello, young lady," welcomed shopkeeper Sherbin with a broad smile on his plump face. "Can I help you?" The little ginger-haired girl looked down at the fireworks and said, "I'd like to buy that Roman candle firework, please." The little white star smiled with excited pleasure and said, as if the little ginger-haired girl could hear him, "Thank you, little girl. You've chosen the best firework. Thank you, thank you, thank you." And then shopkeeper Sherbin said to the little ginger-haired girl, "I'm sorry, love, but children are not allowed to buy fireworks. I can only sell fireworks to adults, for fireworks can be very dangerous if handled by children." "Oh, but please," begged the little ginger-haired girl. "I'll be very careful, honestly." "Yes, she'll be very careful," said the little white star, as if shopkeeper Sherbin could hear him. "Please," pleaded the little ginger-haired girl again, but shopkeeper Sherbin's word was final. And with a tear in her eye, the little ginger-haired girl turned around and walked out of the shop. The little white star looked up at the clock. The time was 4:50. "Oh no," cried the little white star. "It's 5:10, and the shop closes at 5 o'clock. That means the shop closes in 10 minutes. Nobody's bought me Roman candle firework yet, and time is running out." "If nobody buys me Roman candle firework," cried the little white star, "I'll have to stay amongst this horrible dark gunpowder for a whole year. Somebody, anybody, please come and buy my Roman candle firework so that it can be set off and released to join all the other stars in the sky. My firework is not a very expensive one, only costs 35p. Pinwheels cost 40p and rockets cost 60p. So, at only 35p, I'm a bargain." And peeping through the hole, the little white star saw a bald-headed man with glasses approach the counter. Now, as the little white star peeped out of the hole, he saw the bald-headed man with glasses leaning over the counter. "Hello, sir," greeted shopkeeper Sherbin with a broad smile on his plump face. "Can I help you?" "Yes," said the bald-headed man with glasses. "I'm having a bonfire tonight, and my grandchildren will be there, so I would like to buy some fireworks, please." "Certainly, sir," smiled shopkeeper Sherbin. "The fireworks are on display under the counter here." And shopkeeper Sherbin pointed to the fireworks. "Now, let me see," pondered the bald-headed man with the glasses as he placed a finger to his mouth. I think I'll have 4 rockets, 4 pinwheels, 2 volcanoes, 2 helicopters, 2 fountains, and 694 sparklers, please." "What about the Roman candle firework?" asked the little white star, as if the bald-headed man with glasses could hear him. Shopkeeper Sherbin placed the requested fireworks into a box, closed the lid, and handed the box over the glass counter to the bald-headed man with glasses. "That will be 4 rockets at 60p. That's plus 4 pinwheels at 40p. Oh God, Here, keep the change, said the bald-headed man with glasses, handing a £20 note to shopkeeper Sherbin. Oh, thank you, sir, you're very kind, smiled shopkeeper Sherbin. Goodbye, and have a good night. Goodbye, said the bald-headed man with the glasses, sniggering to himself, and he turned around and left the shop. The little white star looked up at the clock. The time was 4:55. Oh no, cried the little white star. It's 5 to 5 and the shop closes at 5 o'clock. That means the shop closes in 5 minutes and still nobody's bought me Roman candle firework. Oh, and time was running out. It looks as if nobody's going to buy me Roman candle firework, blubbered the little white star. I'll have to stay amongst this horrible dark gunpowder for a whole year now. Until next year I'll start stinking. Oh, it's not on, you know. The little white star looked up at the clock. The time was 4 minutes to 5. Time was rapidly running out. The little white star closed his eyes in despair, and a tear rolled down his face. And just when the little white star had lost all hope, he heard a shop door open. Peeping through the hole, a last flicker of hope shone in his eyes as he saw an old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid enter the shop. The old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid approached the counter. Now, as the little white star peeped out of the hole, he saw the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid place her hand on top of the glass counter. Hello, madam, gleamed shopkeeper Sherbin, with a broad smile on his plump face. Can I help you? Pardon, said the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid. I said, can I help you? Shouted shopkeeper Sherbin. You've lost your shoe? Said the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid. Shopkeeper Sherbin gave a tut. What do you want to buy? He yelled, a tin of beef soup falling off one of the shelves. You're learning to fly? Said the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid. Shopkeeper Sherbin gave a big sigh and gave the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid a box of chocolates. Here, take these, you can have them for free, he said. You've hurt your knee? Said the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid. Yes, not to worry, said shopkeeper Sherbin, and he walked the old woman with grey hair and a hearing aid out of the shop. But she's bought no fireworks, cried the little white star, as if shopkeeper Sherbin could hear him. The little white star looked up at the clock. Oh no, cried the little white star. It's 5 o'clock. Shopkeeper Sherbin also looked up at the clock and then walked over to lock the door. Now, when he locked the door and pulled down the close sign, the little white star closed his eyes in sorrow. Now I know that I will have to stay amongst all this horrible dark gunpowder for a whole year because nobody has bought my Roman candle firework. Now I know that I will not be set off tonight and released to join all the other stars in the sky. And just then, the little white star heard a knocking on the door. He opened his eyes and peeped out to see the little ginger-haired girl jumping up and down outside the shop. Sorry, love, we're closed, said shopkeeper Sherbin as he began to sweep up the floor. But I've got no fireworks for tonight, squealed the little ginger-haired girl as she continued jumping up and down outside the shop. Sorry, love, said shopkeeper Sherburn. I told you I can only sell fireworks to adults. But it's all right, smiled the little ginger-haired girl. Me dad's here. Hurry up, Dad. It's too late, love, said shopkeeper Sherburn. Please, begged the little ginger-haired girl. Yes, please, begged the little white star, as if shopkeeper Sherburn could hear him. Please, begged the little ginger-haired girl again. And then, remembering when he himself was a little child, and thinking what it would be like for a child to have no fireworks on Guy Fawkes Night, shopkeeper Sherburn put down his brush and unlocked the shop door. Hurry up then, said shopkeeper Sherburn with affection as he opened the door to let the little ginger-haired girl in. The little ginger-haired girl was ever so grateful and smiled a large, delighted smile. Come on, Dad, she squealed. Shopkeeper Sherburn wants to close up. Peeping through the hole, the little white star saw the little ginger-haired girl enter the shop, and the little ginger-haired girl's father followed. Now, the little white star then saw shopkeeper Sherburn close the shop door and walk to the counter to serve the late customers. Right, young lady, said shopkeeper Sherburn as he stood behind the counter, smiling at the little ginger-haired girl. You wish to buy the Roman candle firework, do you not? Oh, yes, please, said the little ginger-haired girl with gleaming eyes. Shopkeeper Sherburn placed his hand under the glass counter, picked up the Roman candle firework and placed it into a box. At last, screamed the little white star, filled with happiness. At last, my Roman candle firework has been bought. Tonight I will be set off and released. Tonight I will be shot into the sky to join all the other stars. Yippee! And that is exactly what happened that night. That night, the little ginger-haired girl had a big blazing bonfire in the back garden. Mother and father were there, and there were plenty of fireworks and toffee apples in jacket potatoes. With bonfire toffee all over her lips, the little ginger-haired girl watched as her father set the fireworks off. Yippee! Rejoiced the little ginger-haired girl as the fireworks exploded and filled the night air with their wonderful colours. And then, after all the other fireworks had been set off, it was time to set off the Roman candle firework. The little ginger-haired girl's father took the Roman candle firework out of the box, placed it upright firmly in the soft ground, and lit the blue touch paper at arm's length with a lighted wick. The little white star was extremely grateful to the little ginger-haired girl, and so much wanted to thank her. In order to thank the little ginger-haired girl for buying my firework, said the little white star, as the gunpowder fizzed and sparked into the air in rainbow colours, I'm going to make a spectacular exit from my firework. And, as a way of thanks, the little white star made a spectacular exit from his Roman candle firework. Oh, look! Exclaimed the little ginger-haired girl in pure November delight. And the little white star shot from the Roman candle firework at a tremendous speed, somersaulting 12 times and changing from white to red, from red to orange, from orange to yellow, from yellow to green, from green to blue, from blue to indigo, and from indigo to violet. All the colours of the rainbow, yelled a little ginger-haired girl. And changing back to white, the little white star shot high into the sky to join all the other stars. That night, when all the other little boys and girls in Greenway Village were asleep, the little ginger-haired girl sat up in her bed and peeped through the curtains. In the dark November sky, there were millions of tiny bright stars twinkling across the universe. Oh, but what was that? One particular star was twinkling brighter than all the other stars. Could that be the little white star from the Roman candle firework? The little ginger-haired girl asked herself. No, it couldn't be, she thought, but it was. And out in space, amongst all the other stars, the little white star looked down and twinkled at the little ginger-haired girl who was looking up out of the bedroom window. Oh, that was lovely, that was, wasn't it, sweetheart? There, you go to sleep, there, go to sleep. Close your eyes, yes. I'll see you in the morning. Pleasant dreams, cupcake. Love you. Good night.